This is the new 2026 Nissan Sentra, and yes, it is that happy to see you. A complete redesign like this for the 9th generation Sentra means new styling inside and out, as well as a big and much needed technology upgrade. And that's because Nissan, they had some work to do with this new Sentra because the current one sits tied for last in our compact sedan rankings. So, did they do enough to give this thing a lift up the leaderboard? Let's find out. We're Edmunds, and we test hundreds of cars each year on the road and at our private track, so you get the most trusted reviews. If you want to know which car, truck, or SUV is the best, then stick with us. Now we're here with the SR trim. This is the sportiest of the bunch, and the way that you can tell is, of course, it's got all these black accents, including 18-inch black alloy wheels. Now, the grille treatment, I don't think that I'm the biggest fan of it because I do think with this much black, all the detail sort of gets lost. I like the regular grille that's on the SL we're going to see later a bit more. But what I do like overall about the styling of the Sentra is that they kept the up-swinging belt line of the previous model, and that makes the whole thing look a little bit more forward-leaning and aggressive. Now, SR models have this two-tone black roof, and your mileage may vary on that. Some people love them, some people hate them. I personally think that it looks good if you have a bright enough color underneath to balance it out, and this energetic ember, aka red, certainly does the trick. Nissan definitely did enough with the styling upgrades to make the Sentra look a bit more modern, but the funny thing is, I don't know if they had to do a ton on styling because a lot of its competitors, I don't think that they look particularly good either. The K4 looks weird, the Civic looks dignified but boring, the Corolla is a mess, the Jetta looks like it's still from 2010, and the Mazda 3, well, the Mazda 3 looks good, especially as a hatchback, but the Nissan definitely keeps up with the crowd. Oh, and by the way, if you want more information on any of those vehicles or the current Sentra, head over to Edmunds.com where we'll even help you find the best price. Even if you think that the Sentra nailed it in the looks department, it has bigger fish to fry. And that is because this car has always been about getting more car for your money than its rivals. However, even factoring that in, it still needed a big technology infusion to feel modern. So let's find out if that's the case. Look, no more 8-inch screens in here. We're here in the SL trim. This is the brand new top of the line model for the Sentra lineup. But the good news is no matter which Sentra you choose, you're going to get a 12.3-inch touchscreen, and that is a gigantic upgrade over the old 8-inch screen. And also on the top 3 trim levels, so SV and above, you're also getting a matching 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster display. This is a giant improvement for the Sentra and one that was much needed. Beyond the bigger screens, you're also getting some other tech upgrades with the Sentra. You're getting a wireless charging pad, believe it or not, for the first time. And you're also getting wireless Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Those don't come standard. Those are only going to be SV and above. You're also getting a bunch of safety focus technology upgrades. So lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control that works down to a stop. Those are also available for the first time in a Sentra, as well as a surround view camera, which comes with a dedicated camera button, one of my favorite features. And the other thing I like about it is that if you press the button, you can actually toggle through all of these views easily, and that should make parking the Sentra even easier. Exclusive to the SL trim are these tailor-fit upholstered seats, and this is still synthetic leather. You're getting real leather in some of the competitors, but here in the Nissan, it's all the fake stuff. But I do think that it feels quite nice to the touch, and this diamond stitching does help it to look and feel a bit more upscale. The design of the Sentra is going to be familiar for anyone who's seen Nissan products of late, like the Leaf or the Murano. It's got kind of that trapezoidal steering wheel thing going on, which I don't really love the look of, but I do like that they kept physical controls on this. Those are a lot easier to use than the touch sensitive buttons. One feature that I do miss about the old Sentra is it had 3 center air vents, and they've sort of kept that design feature here, but instead of this one being an air vent, it's now filled with buttons, so they fooled me. Now, the new generation Sentra is about the same size as the old one, which makes sense. It's still using the same platform, and that's okay because, as you can tell, this back seat is pretty generous when it comes to space for something in this class. This seat is set up where I like to drive. I'm just under 6 feet tall, and as you can see, plenty of legroom and plenty of headroom as well. And these seats are quite comfortable too, matching the ones in the front. The only thing that this back seat is missing are amenities. So no rear air vents, which is a feature that we really like. And there's only one USB-C charging port, so people back here, they're gonna have to share. Now, if you look at the Edmunds rating for the Sentra, the category in which it's actually rated lowest would be driving. So we had hopes for some performance gains with the new model. However, it doesn't seem like that's going to be the case. Under the hood, you're getting the exact same engine. It's still a naturally aspirated 2-liter 4-cylinder, making the exact same horsepower and torque. And at the Edmunds test track, the previous Sentra took 8.8 seconds to get from 0 to 60 miles an hour, which is on the slower side for this segment. And we also didn't really like the transmission either. Now, as companies say in every redesign, certain things have been improved. They say the CVT has new tuning. They say it's stiffer. They say it's all that. We're gonna have to wait until we drive it to see if it actually handles better, but we were hoping for some gains in the engine compartment, and it doesn't look like we're getting those. We were also kind of hoping that Nissan might announce that the Sentra would have some other powertrain options, maybe a turbo, maybe a hybrid, but they don't really have a hybrid in the portfolio to toss in here. That could change in the future, but for now, this is all you're gonna get. There is, however, a new sport mode in SV and above trims, and that's definitely going to fix everything. Before we wrap things up, if you've been enjoying our videos, please throw us a like and subscribe because they go a long way towards helping us make more of them. Now, we're still waiting for two big pieces of information on the Sentra, and they're both related to value, and that would be fuel economy and price. Now, for fuel economy, but with this new top-of-the-line SL trim, the pricing question is a bit murkier. What was really core to the Sentra's appeal before was that you could get a fully loaded one for about 25 grand. And if you look at competitors like the Civic and Corolla, their top-line models were closer to 30, and that meant that a top-trim Sentra was competing against a mid-grade Civic, and that comparison really flattered the Nissan. So if the SL can keep its price down to around 26, maybe 27,000, the Sentra will still have a ton of appeal to budget-minded shoppers, and with its new technology and upgrades in the looks department, it'll have more appeal than ever before. We'll find all that out closer to this car's on sale date in late 2025, and as always, thanks for watching.